100%. Cheers.
All right, we're back for another week, and we are blessed this week to have truly one of the greats, a monster, a virtual tornado. You might know him as Earthquake. So,
tornado.
Yeah. As I thought it was a fun play on the words. Dude, we have been such huge fans of yours, just from being comics, you know, coming up, working through the clubs, and like you're somebody who I think you're just respected by everybody in stand-up as being like just you're a monster. You're a heavyweight champ, dude, and it's you're so fucking fun. I mean, the special that everybody had, I think a lot of new people probably came on board, but we have been huge fans for such a long time. So thank you for coming over.
No, thank you. That's humbling, and I take that. To be quite honest with you, is flattering because it comes from your peers, you know, and watching it, and that's what you do it for, to be respected among your peers while you're doing it. And it's a beautiful thing.
You're definitely that. I mean, I remember like, there's just like there's certain comics who like I've seen. It was for a long time. It was just seeing clips, you know, like you just see clips of you work in a room, and like, I think this part, like the biggest addiction you get as a comedian is just, you know, people doubling over that sound, like just craziness. And there's endless clips of you just destroying rooms. Like you seem like you would be the last person I'd want to follow.
Oh, that leads me into a fantastic story.
Yeah. Following Earthquake?
So we met doing Premium Blend in like probably 99, I'm guessing. And you came up and you said, I'm friends with Tony Woods. And you said, I got to say hi and introduce myself. And we met then.
Right.
And then in 2000, I think you were at ICM, and we did an ICM showcase. And the first person that went up was a guy named Scott Henry. And the next person that went up was Earthquake. And there was a lineup of a bunch of like Barry Katz White comics that were supposed to go next. I was going 4th or 5th on that show. And Earthquake goes up, and he destroys the room so hard that 3 of the comics, I'll name them, edit these out, and leave the room. They're like, I'm not going next. Fuck that. Nope, I'm not going next. I go fucking later. Someone else got to follow that. I'm not following it. I knew Earthquake, and I also grew up doing the Boston Comedy Club, so I always knew that our energies were going to be intrinsically different,
right?
But that I knew I could ride his energy into a good set.
Yeah.
Like I knew I could just go like, he's killed so hard. So I walked up. I remember you walked off stage, you dabbed me up, and you're like, hey man, kill it. And I was like, I hope. I had one joke. My opening joke was, my name's Bert, hot sexy name, last name you'll hear during porn, some chick on the top of you going, Bert. And then I said, shh, call me Earthquake. And the fucking room exploded.
That's awesome.
And I got a development deal out of it.
Really?
I got a development deal. I went up, the first person I saw was you. I gave you a fucking huge hug. I was like, thank you. And I've followed your career. I've followed your career for now probably 22 years, 25 years, just watching you just murder, seeing you on the road, just going to the clubs, going like, hey, how was his weekend? They're like, fucking insane.
Yeah, every time. That's the thing is, every time we do a club, you know, you see the wall, you see like the calendar, and you always had like, still, but like when I remember like working those weeks and then being like, oh yeah, it was crazy. The shows were fucking crazy. All the reviews for you are just like fucking fireworks, man.
Yeah, I mean, you approach it like a fight, like you said. You know what I mean? You get into it, and I don't physically write, I mentally write. Mm-hmm. So, you know, and quietness is so, I'm very vulnerable of quietness. So I have to go rapid fire, go, and continue on. I used to, when I decided this is what I wanted to do, I said, these are the things I'm not going to do. Elongated jokes and wait for the punchline to come, those type of things. And I just incorporated that into my comedy. And I never knew, this wasn't no epiphany. I just tried it one time and nothing better came along. And I guess I said, well, I guess this is what I'm supposed to do.
Really?
Yeah, it was never, I was in the military for 9 years and I wanted to do 20 years, but shit, the war broke out. And I like, shit, I ain't fighting for no oil. Fuck this shit. I could have stayed at home to get shot at. I ain't no real soldier. I practice for war, but I ain't participate. You know what I'm saying? So you need to go ahead and let me out. Just drop me off where you pick me up at. At the recruiter office, we'll call this shit even. And I didn't want to go back to D.C. and get into illegal pharmaceuticals. And so I said, well, where should I go? And CNN had a thing saying the best place that African-American black people are striving and doing well was Atlanta. And I said, fuck it, why not? And I went up there, tried to get on stage and try it out because I tried a little stuff in the military. And
was that the Comedy Corner?
Yeah, but I tried to get on stage at the Comedy Act Theater, which was the black club. I was doing the Barry Sobel things, the coconut runs, that kind of thing. But, you go to, trying to get a black woman, like, hey, I'm a comedian. And they're like, you're a comedian? I'm like, yeah, well, when you going to be at the Comedy Store? The Comedy Act. I'm like, nah, they don't book me over there. So long story short, the owner would never put me on. And I went to my mother and was like, this motherfucker said he was going to put me on. He ain't put me on. And then she said, what I told you, nigga, you can't get mad at nobody that don't let you ride their bike. You got to get your own bike. And so I just went and got my own goddamn comedy club. I got up with Gary Abdul, who was doing one-nighters. And I did his one-nighter one time and say, hey, man, tell you where it is. Black comedy is hot. And I took him down to the Comedy Act and said, look at this room. They got 500 people. They booked the same comics for the whole month. They don't have no food and they only got 2 fucking waitresses. If we got a club and put it in Buckhead where black people don't go and we call it Uptown, I can do fucking commercials to crush them. Like, do you want to be downtown with you don't know who's in your car? Come to Uptown. And black people didn't go to Buckhead at that time. So I used to make commercials like, what you doing in Buckhead? We deserve to be in Buckhead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was that the one in the strip mall on the second floor?
On the second floor.
So I did an open mic there.
Yeah.
I walked in and you could sign up on I think a Monday.
On the Monday.
And I signed up and I was the one white guy with my white girlfriend. Mm-hmm. And I said, and then immediately they started lighting me up, and they're like, what's your name? I said, Bert. Big laugh. Mm-hmm. And they're like, they started calling me Bertie Bert, and then everyone would go, what's Bertie Bert got to say? And then I was the white guy, and then whoever was hosting that night was like, all right, this next guy coming to stage, oh shit, it's Bertie Bert.
Bertie Bert.
And I fucking ate a dick.
Did you?
A hot one.
A lot of comedians ate dicks in Uptown, and Chris Chapelle helped us do it together because he had the punchline. Yeah, in Marietta. So shout out to Chris Chapelle, Gary Abdul.
Was it tough to get black folks to come to it though, like when you started, or no?
Yeah, it was because they did. You know how it is. When it was Comedy Wars, if you work that club,
then you can't work
mines, and then they said, that's really ain't a black club. It's a white dude who owns it. And Quake is just the front man for it. And I couldn't get nobody to do it. And that's why me and Steve Harvey is very good friends. I came to Steve and I was like, man, nobody will work my club. And he said, fuck it, I'll do it. And he the one taught me the power of this medium right here because the first show we did, he only had 50 people in it. And I said, he looked out, there was only 50 people. He said, Steve Harvey does not perform for 50 people. Give them all their money back. I said, man, that's packed. 50 people, what the hell? So we gave back and said, come pick me up tomorrow morning and we're going to the radio station. And we picked him up at 5 o'clock and we went by Dunkin' Donuts, got some donuts and some orange juice. I said, what all that? He said, you got to smooth the disc jockeys in the morning because they know that we could take their job if we want to because we're entertainment. They're just monotone people that's just play one record to another. So you have to let them on. Whoa. So that's what he said. And so I said, and he got on the radio from 6 to 10. And when I tell you, we sold out 6, 8, 10, 12 shows on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And this when I knew money was in the comedy business, because we wrote him a check. And this is 93. We wrote him a check for $79,000. I was like, oh, God damn. Yeah. Maybe this is where I need to be at.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
I'm going back to Dunkin' Donuts tomorrow morning.
With the Summer Olympics in full swing, hydration is key for athletes and fans. Liquid IV is extraordinary hydration for physical endurance, mental clarity, and overall well-being. A single stick of Liquid IV delivers better hydration than water alone, with 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, plus 8 vitamins and nutrients. I have one right now poured into this jug, and it is delicious, and I know it's hydrating me more than if it were just water alone. Liquid IV is the #1 powered hydration brand in America. Tear, pour, live more. 1 stick of Liquid IV plus 16 ounces of water makes it so easy to be hydrated and healthy. Liquid IV is non-GMO and free from gluten, dairy, and soy. It even has no artificial colors or sweeteners. Turn your ordinary water into extraordinary hydration with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use the code CAVE at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop for better hydration today using promo code CAVE at liquidiv.com.
This show is sponsored by DraftKings. July's ending with a bang. UFC 304, not just 1, but 2 titles on the line. Get your own crown. Jump in on all the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the UFC. It's super easy for first-timers to get started. Just try betting on something simple like picking a fighter to win. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, select a fighter, place your first bet. It's that simple. The welterweight and interim heavyweight title round out the main card, but it is a stacked card of fights. And speaking of stacked, if you're new to DraftKings, listen up. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. This is the way to enjoy the UFC. You have 2 championship fights, guys. Leon Edwards versus Bilal Muhammad. Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blades. And I'm telling you, the fight I'm looking forward to, Bobby Green versus Patty Pimblett. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code BEARS. That's code BEARS for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
You know what I mean? I was like $79,000. And when we wrote it it was me, Krista Petta, and Gary Abdo. And we wrote that show. And that was the first time I actually see the potential of the money. And also understand with this medium right here. So I said, okay, I need to be good on the radio. I need to be snapping. I gotta make people crash on the way to work. I gotta make them laugh so much so they say, whoever that was on this radio this morning, I got to go see him that night.
Yeah.
And I learned that lesson from there.
That's old school.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
You don't think of Steve. I mean, like I didn't think of him like that. Like that's impressive.
No, he was the one to save the club to get it. And then once he brought all those people there,
then they knew.
And they came to see him, but they discovered me. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I tell comedians all the time, if you opening for somebody else, wherever you at, those fans may come to see that particular artist, but they can leave knowing you. So you need to, no matter what slot you in, and if your audience is not built on that, get in there and make their audience your audience in the future, because they're gonna move on. And if you the house MC, they still live there.
So you were doing sets every show?
Every show, because what made me be able to do comedy, they boycott my show, and so I had to do all the shows. So it just made me who I am off of it. I had to do all the fucking shows. That's why when people be thinking I'd be drunk, leaning on the stage, is from my foundation that I used to lean on there and just tell the jokes and do 2.5 hours to entertain for the comedians that I could get to work my club. Wow. And so it became a blessing instead of a curse.
So you came in, you said that like you figured out earlier, or you decided that you were just going to have a joke every few seconds. Like you just don't like to let it bleed.
Yeah.
But the thing that's like fascinating, I think, is that the way you perform, you really seem effortless. Like it feels like, I mean, I know from doing stand-up for 20 years, but like it feels like you're not even trying. You know what I mean? Like
it's a blessing.
Yeah.
No, really, it truly is a blessing that, you know, it's just truly a blessing. You just sit there and be like I don't have to go to a comedy club to work on a set. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can come up with it in my head, and it's okay. Quick story. Steve Harvey caught me writing one time on a thing. He said, "What you doing?" I said, "I'm trying to write this joke together." He ripped the page off, balled it up, and threw it out the window. I said, "What the fuck are you doing, man?" He said, "You're blessed. You don't have to write yours. Yours should come out already. Do not let these people get in your head how to manufacture or coerce your gift. Do it that way. Keep doing it the way it." And once he told me that, then I rock it off. I just went from that point on.
It is a trap that you get into comedy and you really don't know what you're doing. So you watch what other people are doing and you go, well, that works for them. It's got to work for me.
Yes.
And then you see the people like yourself or Steve Harvey or Chapelle or Patrice who really, honestly, I don't even know if they've ever picked up a pen in their life. They just go up on stage and manifest it.
Right.
And you go, well, I don't know if I can do that, but I know I can do the things I'm seeing the other guys doing. And then all of a sudden you start that, and that's when you don't have your voice.
Right.
It's when you're trying to copy what other people are doing.
Right.
And
because you see, like, I know you get in your head too, right? Because
really,
you sit next to your friend or somebody who's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Well, I wake up and I have my coffee and I sit down and I write for 3 hours."
Right.
And you're like, "Oh,
and you feel like you're not giving what it is to it. And the one who fucks up your career more is these club managers.
Yeah.
When you first start out. I mean, and you don't know they used to be the waitress. You know what I mean? The motherfucker was a food runner. Just was around when the real manager quit and they moved him up. You really think this motherfucker's an expert.
Yeah.
And they giving you all these fucking, you know, all advice on how you supposed to do it and the nuances and the pros and the cons. They don't know what the fuck they talking about.
I invested in so many of those relationships.
You understand what I'm saying?
Had dinner with their families.
Yeah, with their family. This motherfucker, you found out he was the food runner, and they caught the manager stealing, and that's the one they trusted with the keys. And you pissed the fuck off. So what he was telling me, don't listen to them. This is because all of us is unique on how you come to it. Yeah. And when he told me that, I mean, it was skyrocketing from there because they was in the beginning fucking with me because I was trying. And every fucking time I try to rehearse and say, I'm going to say this at this time and say that at that time, I was thinking and I wasn't being me in it.
Yeah.
And it was very depressing at that point.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe this shit ain't for me because it ain't fun. It's on it. And he caught me one time, Gardavine, and just told me, nah, that ain't how you do it. You was blessed that your shit comes out your mouth already ready to go. And don't let nobody else tell you no different. And it was great since then.
Wow. That's amazing.
Who was your class that you started with? Like what comics did you start with that we would know? Like I would imagine Epps is younger than you. Right?
No, Epps was Epps in it. Don D.C. Curry, AJ, Inez J, Bruce, people that was ahead of me at that time, of course, Dave Chappelle that just came in because I own my club and he on the time on it. But the most of my class from that in Atlanta that we have is more Don D.C. Curry, Bruce, Inez J, this other comedian named Chris Charles. I'm still looking for him. It was a good friend of mine. And they was more or less my class that we started together.
That's a good lineup, man.
Good lineup.
Yeah, we still used to shop and steal. I mean, because we was all different. Like, Don is totally different from me. Don have to meticulously put every word. He like Seinfeld. Every word has to mean. He will flip it 1,000 times to that. You know what I said.
Yeah.
Actually, and he will do it. Sometimes he'll tell you he'll take him 3 weeks to get it to that point. But when it comes out, he gets the same the reaction that I get.
Yeah.
It's just a different process of coming to
What was the town? What was the town like? Because I always show stories of the New York comics going to Boston for the first time. What was the town where Atlanta comics you were like, oh shit, I'm playing Chicago. I hope my act works. Like I remember, Epps grew up in like Indianapolis, I think.
Yeah.
He like Gary. I think he's from Gary, right? Or is he from Indy?
He's from Naptown. He's from Indianapolis.
Okay. But I remember him saying something like, I remember in New York, Southern black dudes would come up and people would be like make fun of the way he was talking because it was different. What was the city that you were like first nervous to go to? You were like, fuck, I hope I translate.
I mean, to be honest with you, LA was just
yeah, it's a monster, right?
It's a monster. I'd say, I tell young comics this, LA is like the Olympics, where everybody from all over different world congregate to this place to win the gold medal. So if you're going to move to LA, you need to be the #1 draft pick where you learned that, where you from. If you're not the best in your own local town or your own local city, LA is the wrong place to come to because it brings everybody from all around the world to compete at that point. And LA has just a stench about itself that it's LA.
Yeah.
And once you shake that part off of it and just go ahead and, get into what you are, you'll do quite fine. You know what I mean? But it's LA for me, when I first came out here, I was like, this is a totally different, but it was also from what other people that told me about it other than any other place, because usually I go to the place and it doesn't fucking matter.
Well, you don't change anything about you, which was like my big mistake the first time I went abroad. I would like kind of write a new act to be like, I'm the American in London.
Yeah.
And then you're like, what the fuck? And now it wasn't until I was older I was like, I'm just going to do what I do. And I remember watching you go up second and you weren't like, you just did you.
Yeah, that was a lot of failure from Montreal Comedy Festival and thinking you had to change it.
Yeah.
And didn't have nobody such that like, just do you. Yeah. And it was trial and error to get to that point, like, fuck it now.
That's an intimidating one. I mean? The first time you do Montreal.
Oh, it's terrible.
Terrible.
Especially from a brother from Southeast DC who got a slang. Yeah. You in there, you in a foreign country, that French dialect, and you over here saying different words. They were staring at me like I owed them money. You know what I'm saying? So I said, I ain't getting no deal out this motherfucker, but I at least got a trip. So,
what year did you go to Montreal first?
Ooh, so long. I think 98, 99.
Damn.
I think I did, and a couple of times in New Faces, the run of them. I was there when Dave hit, and it was the shock among everywhere. You know what I mean? The whole festival was Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the prettiest bitch in high school. You know what I mean? So and you just like, oh my God, he could have got a fucking show on the Food Channel that week. You know what I mean? God. Fucking every network. He was there for him. That's why I tell people he was closest thing in our profession as a LeBron James.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He just came out and he had the industry by the motherfucking throat.
Where did you first play when you got to LA? What was your first show?
I just hit the clubs like, the Comedy Store. I remember I went up and Missy, God rest her soul, to get it right to work there. I was already clearing 10 G's a show, so it was really insulting. I had to sit here and audition for you for $35, but I had to put the cocaine down to come to that realization. Cocaine was like, fuck her, fuck that club. You don't need nobody but me, you, and this money that we getting. Fuck them. But I went down and you're funny. I'm gonna make you a regular today, and you're good. And then a white comic came to me like, oh man, you're a non-paying brother. off the stop. I said, well, what's the difference? He said, well, non-paid regular, you don't have to watch the door or work no jobs and here for stage time. You just get on the list on it. I said, well, that wasn't going to be an option at all, motherfucker. I just wasn't going to work at this motherfucker. You thought I was going to be sitting down here in the front taking tickets, parking cars, no offense. That's just, I was already 10 G's a night, nigga. This just, you can kiss my ass. I don't give a fuck what shit come along with this one. I guess I just got to come back here when I'm more famous.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Comparison is the thief of joy, and it's easy to envy other people's lives, especially how it seems like they have it all together on Instagram. But in reality, they probably don't. Therapy can help you focus on what you want instead of what others have so you can start living your best life. Perception is reality. You just need to perceive that the life you have is great. And sometimes you get lost in that focus, and your life is great. You need someone to kind of ground you. And for me, my therapist is the person that grounds me. Reminds me of the beautiful things I have, the things I don't deserve, like a gorgeous wife, 2 beautiful kids, 2 great dogs, a cat. But even saying that, therapy for me, just it is the place where it reminds me of all the great things I have. Listen, if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Stop comparing yourself and start focusing on yourself with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/bears today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/bears.
This video is brought to you by Manscaped.com, the global men's lifestyle brand that is revolutionizing the landscape of men's grooming. Today, we're here to celebrate the perfect summer grooming companion that will help keep you looking cool even when it's sizzling outside. I'm excited to introduce you to the latest version of the lawnmower family, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra in the new colorway White Hot from Manscaped. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code BEARS at manscaped.com. I use Manscaped for everything: nuts, dong, butthole, face, nose, ear, head. Not always the same instrument sometimes, but it all cleans up real nice with Manscaped. Step up your grooming game this summer with the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra in White Hot. Experience precision like never before with next-gen dual skin-safe blade heads, an updated trimmer blade, and an interchangeable foil blade for peak performance. Switching between the 2 blades is a breeze, giving you the versatility you need for all your summer grooming needs. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code BEARS at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code BEARS at manscaped.com.
But this part of the process, me and this cocaine will not.
So they were actually like, come here and work now?
Huh?
They were like, come here and work now?
Well, that's where it was at the point. What it is you'll have to work and then get you a regular job and you'll be in the front at the comic. And that's
what they were proposing to you, though.
Well, that's what they was proposed to all comedians.
That happened to me too.
To all comedians. But if she grants you that part, to bypass you that, she immediately make you a regular that
and that's
you
what
don't
happened
have to do. And it happened to me.
Okay.
So when he told me that, I didn't know the significance of it till he explained it to me. And then I explained it to him. That wasn't an option.
I got you. You know what I'm saying?
It was going to be either that or nothing.
Yeah.
And thank you for educating me on it because I didn't know the process of it. They just say if you want to work at the comedy store, Missy had to personally approve for who works at her clubs. I'm like, all right, I'll go up there and let her see the set, what time we got to come do it, and she makes that determination if you need to work for her or do something around the set for the club in exchange for stage time.
Yeah, no.
Or just become a paid regular then and there. Fuck that.
I have a weird question. I only wonder because you were successful and wealthy and doing great in comedy, but the Netflix thing really kind of shared you with a brand new audience.
Yes.
Did you ever crave that, or is it something that's nice to have in your life? Did you ever think, like, 'cause there was a point in my life where I was like, I'm cool with just being like I wasn't making $10,000 a week, but like whatever, like $6,000, $5,000, $4,000 a week. I could do this for the rest of my life. I love it. But then when the Netflix thing changed my life, I was like, oh, I don't know if I could have done that for the rest of my life now.
humbly you sit and you see people get things of opportunity that you think just based upon what we do, I should at least get that opportunity.
Yes.
So you get a little bit like, God damn it now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm just I'm a person that deals with reality, and I'm just, we deal, and I'm honest with myself more than anything else. We deal with something that's subjective. What's funny to y'all might not be funny to somebody else. So I always used to say, and I see some people with an opportunity that I haven't had a chance of having or privilege of having or haven't came across. I said, I guess they made somebody laugh who I haven't yet made laugh yet.
Oh, that's pretty good.
You understand? Yeah. That's the only thing that I can really just say. Somewhere along, a person of power, they made laugh that I didn't make laugh yet, to give them the opportunity to expand on theirs. And I just got to keep on going until I meet that person who's in the power that see who I am as a comic and be saying, okay, we can do things with him the same way we did it with your Dave Chappelle, Chris Rocks, Kevin Hart's, Jerry Seinfeld, and the rest of it. And I just have to come and just accept that and just keep being who I am. True story. I just sit here and went to see Martin get ready for his tour he's doing. And me and Martin are tight because we're from Washington, D.C. I know him well. He was up in the belly room, or one of the main rooms at the Comedy Store, working it out. And he said his story. He said, and that just let me know there's a God. He said he was he just got into comedy as a dare. And he got up in there and he tried it, but he was a blue comic. And Star Search came, and all the veteran comics said, you ain't got a chance to be on here. You're too green, plus you're blue. You ain't getting on this, mama. And he got picked. Made it for Star Search. And I'm thinking, damn. Then he came to Star Search, won one round, lost, went back home, doing his regular job, buffing the floors, mopping everything. Got a call from Columbia Pictures Television. Say, hey, we got this show called What's Happening Now. Would you like to be on it? Come on out here. He dropped the mop, dropped the thing, flew out there, came on there. Rest of his history. And that made me think, see, none of that shit never happened for me. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. You just be like, so how do you get angry or get you mad or feel it is? That's just his path. God didn't want my path to be that way. And now that it is my turn and things are happening for me, and I see why he took me this long to get to this point. I really do. It makes sense now.
But doesn't it? Really I was going to say, sense. Like, there's this thing where when you're craving those things and those recognitions, right, early on, and that they keep going by, and you keep seeing other people do shit, and you're like, damn, it's just like they're not picking me. But when time goes by and you just get better and better and better, and then you do get your opportunity, like if you want to use your Netflix thing as an example, it's the most memorable one of this like that's the one everybody talks about. But it also came at a time where like you're just like this, you're ready for it. You know what I mean? Like you're so ready for it that could you have done it before? For sure. But maybe it's better because it did take long. I will say this, and I say this a lot, I would have loved to see, I just wanted what came along with the talent that I was, and I say retail, you know what I mean? The opportunity that comes along with the talent that was, nothing more, nothing less. I for whatever reason, and I never got angry because you meet these bitter comics, yeah,
and I told myself I'm never gonna be you, because I write a note every time that I get on stage, and I never have ever changed it. And get to your point, crave it. You got to understand, I never came to the complete comprehension or the belief that this is what I was supposed to be doing anyway, because I was just doing it and nothing better came along. Yeah. So I still was like, that's why my name is Earthquake, because just in case this shit didn't work, I ain't want to fuck up my good name. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that's great.
No, really. You know, my family is very funny, but they're critical, and we joke on each other. If I would have got out the military after 9 fucking years, with only 11 more years to retire, and went to Atlanta and tried to be Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, and that shit would have failed, I would have never heard the end of that shit. Do you know this motherfucker got out the military to be a clown? This motherfucker, I mean, you can stay home for this. You know what I mean? Because first I didn't, you know, my family didn't know comedian was an occupation.
Yeah.
You didn't associate it with an occupation. You only knew the stars. You never knew it was lower level comedian. That none of my family went to comedy clubs. So they Richard Pryor or Red Fox, you know, but the job of it, we didn't know anything about it. And me for to just jump out to do this shit, and I'm trying it, and they giving me more money to do that, to talk shit up here, than to work for somebody 8 hours. And I just did 9 years in the military, and I was living on the unemployment on there. So I wasn't forced to get a job, and that money was coming. I was like, all right, ride it out. And so I never was sitting there like, I'm craving this. And then I seen a lot of people, honestly, who were the men that I didn't want to be like. You know what I mean? You egotistic, shitting, you ain't special. What you do is special. You know what I mean? If you was special, motherfucker, why wasn't nobody there when you was born? Yeah. We had to prove that shit. Only Jesus was special. He the only people had people come on the announcement of his birth. Don't nobody in no motherfucker. Ain't nobody show at your hospital to get your mother didn't even have a car seat for your black ass. You know what I'm saying? You had to sit on somebody's lap as 1 year, 2 days old. I mean, you ain't even had your own crib. You fuck around and had a drawer next to the socks. That's where you laid at night. The fuck you talking about? You special. Now all of a sudden you the greatest thing since. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? It's just I hated it. I was just fucking hated
Those bitter guys are a disease.
They're a disease.
You can't be around them, actually.
Well, no, you can't.
No.
They sit in the back of the fucking club and telling you why he made it, why he didn't make it, why he can't make it. And I tell them, I said, if you was to put more, just the same energy you put in this analogy that you put in your set, I bet you'll go as far as they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never thought that would be happening in the black clubs. I know it happens in the white clubs
all the time.
The white clubs are like
rather rampant with it.
I mean, there's so much like tit for tat bullshit where it's like, how did you get that? Who got you into Montreal? Who did you showcase in front of? And I remember just being like, I remember moving to New York and going like, this sounds bad, but I just did not connect with the white comics because I didn't have friends like that. Like I didn't have friends who were like nerds.
Yeah.
Like my first friend was Tony Woods.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can hang out with him. We go to the Bag It Inn. Him, Donnell, him and Donnell would go down to the Bag It Inn and have drinks. And I just was like, okay, they were cool growing up. I could talk to them.
Right.
I don't have to pretend to talk. I don't have to talk about comedy. We can talk about anything else. And I had a hard time connecting with like that bitter energy. I'm sure I had to have had it at some point. Because I think it's natural. It's
natural.
Yeah, it seeps in.
It does. It does. And that's why sometimes when I see comics take shot at me, I understand it. And I try to tell them, it's not my fault. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not my fault. You know what I mean? And I get it. You know what I mean? Because you're bitter on it because you're competitive. But you have to be honest with yourself and say it's subjective. It's no defense. As long as you're dealing with something that's subjective, there is no better or best. Because what makes one person laugh might not make another person laugh. And I tell comedians that all the time. All of us have people that don't find us funny. You just pray to God all them niggas don't show up that day.
I think I've had a few nice things.
We should turn that into a T-shirt.
Just hope all the motherfuckers don't show up that night. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's just a factual part of it, man. And you just got to deal with the reality of what it is.
Wait, did you say you write yourself a note before you get on stage?
Yeah, I write myself a note. And I've never, in my 30-year career, never got on stage without this note. And the note is, thank you, God, for everything you've given me. Thank you for picking me out of all the brothers on the corner and giving me this gift. If it was to end today, I wouldn't have no complaints, because if I lose that eye for it, then my jokes are gone, because I don't physically write, so I have nothing to learn. So that's why my environment, my attitude, people around me, I have to protect that, because that's where I get my comedy from. And if you fuck with that, then it works off my whole ecosystem, and I'll be fucked up.
You're someone that notoriously no one's wanted to follow. Who's someone that you all growing up or all coming through, you're always like, God damn it, I got to follow him?
Well, it's a few people. Like, if you follow On There's Jay, you might as well understand you have to be physical. This is a physical guy with a lot of energy. You can't go up that bitch bullshit.
I remember his Def Jam.
Yeah, understand? Yeah, you have to. You got to play with Lavelle Crawford.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? When I see Lavelle on the schedule, it's like I got to put my shit together. You come in that motherfucker lax on Lavelle, you in trouble.
I had a hard time following Lavelle with my daughters at a Menchie's. We walked into a Menchie's.
Yeah.
And pulled up, got out of his car and came over, said hi, got his Menchie's and sat with me and my daughters for a second. It was so fucking funny. He left and they were still smiling. They go, what does he do? I go, comedian. And they're like, nah, you're not a comedian then. That guy was really funny, Dad.
No, he is, Lavelle he's a beast. Yeah. So it's many a times that I have sit here, and because you know, when you do this ensemble of comedians, you don't know who on the show sometimes. And then you might have had a late night that night, or, not mentally preparing for this fucking show. And you get to the goddamn arena and you like, Lavelle, 25 before you, like, oh shit. Slap me real quick. Go get something. Yeah. He is. Destroys. Man. Destroys it. I mean, destroy. He's another dude that I sit and I watch, and he's in the same bracket of me. Like, someone has to find a way for him to see what we see and give him an opportunity to grow his audience, and he would do well. If what you say, you want viewers and you want a successful show. Yeah. That's what I think.
He's a beast.
Also, like, I imagine it just comes out of him too.
Yeah, I mean, he's
just talking.
I don't know his process for him coming to him, but the results, I know how he make his sausage. Yeah. That when that motherfucker come out, it's ready.
It's ready.
You know what I mean?
There's so many people. There's so many people that I was coming up in New York that, like, Greer Barnes was someone I'd never wanted to go after. Greer Barnes was just flawless, and talk about swag. There was a comic who did a showcase with us one time. Was it Reggie McFadden?
Yeah.
And he went up, Barry Katz was like, gotta be clean. And Reggie McFadden was like, I don't need stripper pussy, and I'll tell you why. And the fuck was that?
Funny.
Fucking the room was like, and I was like, this is gonna be a good show.
It's gonna be a good show.
God,
I love it.
So many fucking great comics that you feel. It's like one of the things I think was cool for all of us when your special came out, and all of us went to watch it. Huge chat threads. I remember being in the chat thread with Rogan, Tom, and Ari. And we're like, has anyone fucking seen Earthquake special? Yeah. And being like, but when you saw it, it's kind of cool because it's like there's a bad analogy, but your little brother can do a backflip, but you're at the bar and you're all drinking, and if he can do a backflip, they're going to get drinks for everyone. And your little brother can do a backflip, and you're like, can you do that backflip? And he goes, yeah. And then he does, and he sticks. I go, fucking told you, motherfucker. I told you, motherfuckers.
Exactly.
It was so fun watching that special. Did you have any stake in that, or were you just like, whatever it is whatever it is?
No, I knew once when Dave Chappelle called me and said he was going to produce it, I knew this is the one. And my main goal first was to be me on it. Wherever it landed, but I was going to be me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is how Earthquake tell a joke. This is how I write. This is how ain't no knock-knocks, poignant, funny, quick, delivery, style. I'm going to put all the elements that I am into this and then let it do what it do. You know what I mean? Not looking to impress anyone. I just wanted to do my best. And I'll live whatever comes with it. And that was the main thing. And so I started trying out different stuff and it wasn't coming. And then I forgot I think I was in Detroit or Indiana and it hit. And I called my fiance. I said, got it. She said, I said, I got it. I got it from the beginning of it all the way to the end. Got where I want to take them, got what I want to say, got where I want. And then I called Dave. I said, let's do it.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you know, this is a little bit in the weeds on a special, and I don't know, I'm curious to hear your answer too. But I've done a few specials, and I've gotten to a place where sometimes in the past I would get so nervous about it that I would prepare for it, over-prepare, and I wouldn't drink, and I would try to eat clean. And then this last special I just shot, I was like, I'm just gonna make it like the road. The road's always fun. The road's always a blast.
Right.
I'm gonna drink if I want to drink after the show. I'm gonna have meet and greets and post parties after.
Right.
I'm gonna do every night. I'm not gonna change a fucking thing. I'm gonna sleep in my bus instead of getting a hotel room. I'm gonna stay in my bus because that's where I like to be. I'm gonna work out when I want to work out. I'm not gonna like get obsessive about it.
Right.
Is that how you went about it?
Yes, because I had other ones and it wasn't at this level on it, but this was the one, the creme de creme, and I really was going, mine is on just like yours, but it was more creative, like this what I do. Yeah. And this is how I do it. And turn the cameras on, so your mentality with the crowd was you're just here to witness this, you don't even matter. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's me and that camera to articulate these jokes until, it's over. And that's what I did. And that's what I plan on doing it for the next one that I'm going to do at the end of this year.
Oh, you are? Awesome.
Yeah, I just signed to do another one, and I'm looking forward to this one.
Do you know where you're doing it yet? Or is that?
I'm going to do it in Atlanta.
Okay.
Because I born in Washington, D.C. where my first one is. But I was born in comedy in Atlanta, so that's why I'm coming to Atlanta, and me and Dave gonna do it again. Stan Lathan directing.
Oh yeah,
good.
We're gonna put it at the end of the year, and I'm looking forward to it.
I can't wait for that.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it.
Also, there's something about, I think yours has to be one of the highest retention levels. Like, people don't finish specials. I think everybody I talk to finish your special, which is just like a compliment to you. I don't know, man. Like, I think there's also something about, they make specials too long, and like having them be solid and funny and just like make it more digestible. I feel like that's the future of stand-up specials.
Well, I told him, and we had a problem. I said, I believe in quality other than quantity.
Yeah.
A lot of these people stretch it out an hour, but they only got 20 minutes of laughter. Mm-hmm. So why don't you just put the 25 minutes of your laughter in there?
I wish this was the standard.
And have them wanting more than not want no more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
You used a woman's analogy on that. You want them to want more.
Less dick is better.
Yeah, less,
there you go.
And quality of
dick.
the less.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I said, well, we're going to put this in and make it. That was Dave Chappelle's recommendation to me.
That was so smart.
He was like, Quick, I know how long you do. We're going to make it 40 minutes.
Perfect.
And I said 40. And was one take, And that was it.
Really?
Yeah, he told me the second one, you can do what the fuck you want. We got it. And so I started, no cut on it. We put it up together, stand like we got it. So the first one, we got it on the first one on it. Because I knew the significance of it. And plus, to be honest with you, when you have a GOAT, a great comedian, a mind of there, you can't come up there with no knock, and you have to play well. You know what I mean? Yeah. You have to exceed his expectation even for himself, because you want to tell him or anybody that gives you that opportunity that you've been denied of, personally speaking, thank you. And, he said, man, my fault. I should have came sooner to come get you and let the world see what you is. I owe you an apology for that. And I'm like, damn, you don't owe me an apology for that. He said, I should have used my platform and my word of being in the room to say, yeah, y'all are throwing all these accolades on me, but it's a motherfucker down there that it is. And my personal opinion is too many comedians, especially of my ilk, that don't do that. They get in there and for some fucking reason they feel referring someone of their equal value is a shame on them. Now they'll help lower comics that has no way of the potential ever reaching to that level. And they say they're doing a good job. No, you're just helping the motherfucker get in the red zone. He will never be in the end zone.
Yeah.
You want to impress me? Help a motherfucker that's in the red zone get in the end zone. Then you show that you truly believe in who you are and it is you, and you helping people. Anybody can help a person in our business that don't have no potential on being elevated, equal to their level. That's bullshit. Yeah. You see them all the time opening up, having people open up for that. And you're like, how the fuck is this motherfucker even with this opportunity? But the true one, when you sit there and you give an opportunity to him, you're like, boy, that motherfucker in front of you was funny as shit. You're like, yeah, he's going to be a star. And that helps you too as a comedian, because they keep shopping still. Because they came to see you, you can get lazy and they'll be just happy, yeah. But if you get a funny motherfucker up there in 25, 30 minutes that's killing that crowd, it makes you come to work.
It does.
So it works for you. But for mine, I envy white comics more than anything on this with y'all. When y'all do get to the top, y'all do bring others in, Adam Sandler and the rest of y'all, Jerry. Y'all bring each other in that y'all deal with. And we don't do this on our side. We for some fucking reason, it's just, they will help people that they know don't have the potential of being a superstar. But, that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah. I think it's guys like Dave and Joe. Rogan was like that.
Always.
Rogan was like crazy like that. Like he
only brought people who would fucking destroy.
Right.
Yeah. He still does.
Still does, yeah.
He still does. And he gave everyone an opportunity. I remember him saying like, yeah, there's no competition. Anyone, have him on your podcast. It'll help your numbers out. Have him open for you. Bring out this guy. I remember him telling me, because I would just have whoever the club booked to be my feature and host. It was light work. You'd go in. They were usually pretty hacky. You very seldomly ran into anyone who knew what they were doing. And then Joe's like, why aren't you bringing like murderers out with you?
Right.
And I was like, what? He was like, bring out like great comics. And then you're around great comedy. And then you're getting challenged. And I was like, and he goes, and it's fun as fuck. And I was
yes, it is.
The first weekend I did it, I was like, oh, I'm never letting a club book people.
Never.
No. You don't. And because you don't know what it is, you don't know if they stop it on you, because they are represent them people coming to see you. So it's your show.
Yeah.
And then you are given an opportunity. I just personally believe wherever level you at, you're obligated to give someone that opportunity where you at, to give them that point. Now, pick who you want it to be. Let it be somebody. I tell comics all the time, you ain't even got to pick me.
Yeah.
Pick somebody. Because, see, you're expanding the genre, and eventually it's going to come back and benefit me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just is. So, man, you just don't know. I compliment when I go see other comics, and I see their opening, the rest of them up there. And killer. And to me personally, that tells me the character of who the headliner is.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right.
He's walking on his own belief. I am that motherfucking man, and they still came to see me, and it is about me, and everything's cool, and I can still provide opportunities to other people that y'all might love, but it's still about me, and that just tells me the character.
Yeah, you're totally right.
Was it tough for you when the Netflix special comes out? I know lightly, like, just how involved you've been in your promoting and your door. Like, you were never a hands-off comic. You were always a hands-on comic, even from the early days. When you get that next level, and they're like, "Yo, we want you." There's a weird thing that Hollywood does. I think sometimes, like, now it's time to trust us.
Right.
And was it tough for you to let go and go, okay, let's do? I mean, you guys got people like Dorfman in your corner who can give you advice, but was it tough to let go a little bit of the reins?
Well, I'm not a micromanager because I never had. Let me put it this way. What I needed, I didn't. Most of the time, I didn't have people who wanted to help me, was capable to help me what I needed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see.
You have to. It's a machine in here.
Yeah,
it's a machine. And if I don't care how funny you are, if you don't have the necessary people around to boost what you're doing or saying who you are, you're just going to be the funniest motherfucker in the club.
Yeah.
So my livelihood was based on what I did at the club, so I had to be on hand, on our staff.
Yeah.
But the Hollywood aspect of it, I always gave it to them, and nothing came back. Since that's why 20, 30 years of not getting it off of it. I'm not a great self-promoter. I'm not a braggadocious dude. I believe personally that your work should speak for itself. You know what I mean? We are all comics. It's subjective. I hate to just keep saying it. So we all do it different. And since it's subjective, you do yours, somebody gonna love you. That's just how it is. But the hands-on part of pushing it through and the rest of it, nah. Yeah. I wasn't that dude.
Do you like the acting stuff? Is that something you are interested in? You enjoy it?
I enjoy it when they allow me to be me in it. Yeah. I tell them all the time, I'm not an actor, I'm a movie star.
Yeah.
So,
you
understand?
Brother, I've been saying that. I got off the role. I said, what do you think me like act? I said, nah, I can be like the movie star of it.
Yeah.
Like you give me my big trailer and I can walk anyone's trailer whenever I want. I can do that.
Yeah. Because we're content.
Yeah.
We're walking content.
Yeah.
We're walking content. Actors are empty content. You have to fill them up with it.
Yep.
They read it, they play the role, and they assimilate to what the writer wants them to be. It's agitates to a comedian.
Yeah.
Our natural instinct of who we are, when we get that information, how do we form it and put it in our version on how we think?
Yeah.
And then you got this motherfucker over here telling me, nah, you shouldn't say it like that. I said, man, I deal with 4,000 people a night that don't even know me. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
let me say it like this.
Yeah, I couldn't. You taking a piss, Tommy?
Yeah.
We can keep going. Yeah, I couldn't. When I did my first movie, I was like, or my only movie, rather. I remember getting offered a role, and I was like, yeah, I don't think I'll be good at that. Like, you want me to play a guy who owns a cheeseburger factory or something?
Right.
I was like, yeah, I've never been that guy. I can play Bert really good, or a version of Bert. I can give you a bunch of different flavors of Bert, but I can't give you a neurotic guy because I'm not that guy. And if you wanted that guy, I can give it to you, but you're not gonna like the way it is.
Well, what I would say to them, and then allow Bert to be that guy in that role.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Put Bert in this fictitious fucking arena thing and allow him. And I bet you, Bert playing that guy is going to do better for this movie than Jim, who has all these acting and all that on it, if you want the success of the film.
It's Martin. If you look at Martin's always been Martin and everything he does. Man, Martin is so, I mean, when you just watch old school Martin, the show,
yes,
you forget what an actual fucking play he put on every fucking day.
Every day.
Every fucking day. I mean, he carried that single-handedly with emotion, with like, I watched the episode the other day and I was blown away by he was vulnerable, he was cocky, he was arrogant, he failed, he succeeded, he played Shanae. Like he did all this in one 22-minute fucking thing, and you're like, holy shit, they don't make anything like that.
Nothing, because he was given and he was blessed enough that somebody seen the vision to say, do you.
Yeah.
And let us turn the cameras on. We don't want you to be that or what our vision is. All of them do it. I mean, Eddie played Eddie.
Eddie always played Eddie.
Eddie played Eddie. Kevin played Kevin.
Eddie, we were just talking about this.
Mike
Eddie played Eddie.
You know, Chris Rock played Chris Rock.
Martin.
All the comedians.
Yeah.
Dave played Dave. If you look at all of them, that's what we do. We're movie stars. Put us in a fictitious scenario, scene, and allow us to bring Bert into that and sit there. Here is the guidelines off of the scene, off of it. Let's sit here. Roll it, take one. Let me see, take two, take three, take four. I got that scene. 4 in, I put it together, edit together, and you got a hit movie.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science to me, in my humble opinion.
Oh, I agree. We were talking about how great the TV show Martin was and just how brilliant Martin and Eddie. We were talking about Eddie. Eddie played so many different versions of Eddie, including Boomerang, including Vampire, and including even when in Coming to America, that is a version of Eddie Murphy that we all kind of know from his act.
Yeah.
I mean, and then you think about his act. Sometimes when I get ready for a special, I'll watch something and go, man, I wish I had something like that. And I never do. You can, especially from the great ones. But when his mom with the boomerang shoe.
Yeah.
And you go, he was a child when he wrote that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kid, yeah.
He was a child.
Yeah. Yeah. The ice cream man, too.
Yeah. He's so charismatic, though. Like, bringing that movie star quality up on to movies was so, it's just the most natural thing. It is him just being himself, you know?
Red Fox.
Yes.
Red Fox was always Red Fox.
Yes.
He was always Red Fox.
Yeah.
Pryor, the whole of them, if you look at him.
Pryor was always Pryor. You're right.
It was always Pryor.
Yeah.
You can look at Pryor and look at him in everything. He was Pryor. He was sitting there, put it on him, people died on him. You put any actor in that same movie and take Pryor out, who knows what the fuck it would do, but it wouldn't be as great it is because you allow Pryor to be Pryor. But we don't, people who make those decisions, or we don't have enough directors or producers to say, this would be funny with Bert in this situation, let me get it. And you tape it, I mean, we got to get our jokes right the first time, every time we go on stage. Your ass get 4 or 5 times to get it right.
It's true.
You understand? You get to try it 4 fucking times, you know, and you get it. And you put it together and it's a hit movie. We hold people's attention spans for an hour by our damn self. How the fuck you gonna tell me I cannot hold their attention an hour and a half with cast members and we had 4 or 5 times to get the shit right?
Yeah.
It's fucking foolishness to me.
Who's your dream team? So like, say they make a movie like Ocean's 11 or Ocean's 12, and they go, here's the deal. We're gonna put 5. We're gonna do 5 of the black comedians we want in it. Earthquake, you're our lead. Who are you gonna put in the movie with you?
Oh man, gotta put Eddie Murphy, most talented person I ever met.
What's he like in person?
Ed is so smart, yo. He is observant, talented.
Is he quiet?
Yeah, someone that when you get to know him, he talks shit.
Yeah.
You know, Bill, he loves, Muhammad Ali. He got all kind of Muhammad Ali shit in his house. Good guy, a student of the game.
Yeah.
A student he believes in the game. That's why for him to come back to do stand-up again, he would go on his process, hitting the club, writing and all that. And I don't think personally he wants to go through that to get to that, but he looks at the landscape and say, I could do that.
Yeah.
And nobody fears him. I'm Murphy.
So you put Eddie in it?
I put Eddie. I put Dave in it.
Oh, yeah.
Rock in it. Mike in it.
Yeah. Mike's most.
and DL.
Oh, wow. Why don't we? Okay. So what's the movie? Let's just, because I'd invest in that movie.
Sure.
I would absolutely invest in that movie. It's going to be you just give everyone back end points.
Yeah.
Right. And I will be, the run that kind of thing is, I will be the head of the probation officers.
That's a great world.
Yeah. I am the
like
head
the
probation officer, and all of those are they work under me on the probation. They are probation officers, and I would have like Law and Order people who they take things from the newspaper, the headline. And I will have those people who've been in trouble, went through, and after they get out of incarceration or don't be incarcerated and have to come to us, and I will assign different ones, DL and rest of them as their probation officers, and how these people will be the probation, how DL will be a probation, Chris Rock will be a probation officer, different celebrities that came in their office.
That's a great setup.
Yeah, I'm in.
Probation.
Yeah.
And then you got to have the turning point, right? Where like something has to go wrong at the right.
Yeah.
So either like nobody showed up, so you have like you got 10 fugitives, or you know what I mean, or they take over. Something's got to like flip in the scenario to make everything kind of go
chaotic.
Crazy. Yeah, chaotic.
Right.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy because I bet everyone's schedule is fucking chaos, and I bet getting Eddie Murphy's got to be an uphill battle.
Sure.
But you could there's so much talent out there right now. And I think the problem, when you were saying that, I think the problem is, and I mean this with respect, but I think every director wants to be the star, every writer wants to be the star, every producer wants to be the star. And back in the day, they just wanted to make Eddie Murphy the star. And I think that's disappeared a little bit from Hollywood. I think that's why movies aren't making what they used to make at the box office, because so many people, it's so difficult to get a project made. Whereas back in the day, Eddie Murphy pops on Saturday Night Live. They're like, yo, how do we plug this kid into something tomorrow? And how do we let him be him and blow us all up? Back in the day, it was just about making the money. Like those guys, Jerry Bruckheimer and those guys, they became the star just because they were behind the scenes people.
Yeah.
They became the star because they worked and greenlit guys like Eddie Murphy.
I used to always say we lost people that just love to be what they supposed to be. And that's what you said. Back in the day, directors just wanted to be a director.
Yeah.
Now the directors want to be the star. They want the accolades. They want the awards off of it. So it must, just human nature, how do I get more to shine on me than that other person? And that's what's happening. If we just could have people who love their craft for whatever purpose their craft is, we'll be doing a lot better. And there's nothing wrong with being the man behind the scenes.
No.
I tell that to my friends all the motherfucking time. I say, if any of y'all got a better game plan than I do, I'll show you how it is. I'll show you how the proper way to be an Indian. I'll support y'all ass. But none of y'all ain't got the shit. So tell y'all come up here with a better plan, shut the fuck up, and do what I tell you to do. Now, God damn it now. Fuck, I'm tired of this shit. Y'all, he picked me, okay? All right? Out of all of us, he picked me. I didn't ask for it. All right? If he would pick you, I'll follow you. Can't follow your ass working at the gym. Fuck. You don't make enough for your own family. How the fuck I'm gonna follow you to the gym? Shit. Damn. Snap out of this shit. They picked me.
We got to make the probation officer movie, man. We got to make the probation.
That's a great.
Yeah, just for you to give that speech in the office.
Yeah.
To all of them.
Yeah.
I'm the fucking head of the probation office,
Yeah,
goddamn
they
it.
picked me.
Yeah.
You understand? I didn't ask for it. Take it up with your Lord and Savior.
It's so funny that a probation officer would give that speech to lower level probation officers. You know what I mean?
They gave me the badge.
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah. Are you on tour right now?
Oh, Jesus.
Yes, I'm. After I leave y'all, I'm gonna go to Denver and start mentally preparing for this special.
Nice.
And getting ready for it. Now I know what it takes, because that was my first one, and now I'm just in a better space. So I'm a working comic. That's where all my money come from. I don't have no money off of Facebook, no money off of fucking fans only page.
You don't have an OnlyFans
none
page?
of that. No, I ain't got no OnlyFans. I know I sound bad.
Page.
I ain't got none of that shit. Mine is strictly between this and my radio show that I have on Sirius XM. Those are the two things.
And will you shoot in December? Or?
I'm looking for. Dave was saying the Black Friday right after Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's the greatest day to do shows.
He was saying that off of it, but we just got the deal, so I don't have a time. So I'm gonna start this weekend, and I will say I will be ready by November. I guess.
That the crowds on the Friday and the Saturday after Thanksgiving are always, it's the best, because people have been with their family all week, like half the time they don't want to be with. And then this is their day out of it's always great audiences. Great audiences.
Yeah, that's what he said. And I was like, well, anyway, we get them, because we're not, I like shooting, I don't know how y'all like, I like shooting my special in an intimate setting, so I don't go more than 800 people.
Nice.
And once 800 people, whichever is, I can get those in there, so.
Yeah.
And plus it's Atlanta and the whole thing.
That's going to be nuts, man.
It's going to be
so
huge.
They're going to be gone right there. So the crowd part of it, I'm not worried. And then mentally, they're just there to witness me and that. I'm so focused on what I'm trying to deliver and articulate each one of these jokes, right? I don't even pay attention that they in there, to be honest, sometimes.
I love that you say you're going to start working on it now. And I've talked to so many people who go, yeah, I'm going to shoot a special. I'm going to do like a couple weeks before I get ready to do it, like get really prime myself up. I'm like, a couple weeks.
Yeah, no.
I feel like I might be over preparing.
Yeah, no.
Well, because, no, you're not, because they missed the word. It said comedy special. Yeah. Supposed to be special, not all right. Not going to be right. Could be right.
No.
Give me more time, I can make it right. It's, you understand? It's comedy special. We came up with a time when you had a special, you worked on it for a whole year, perfecting it.
Yeah.
Because you wanted to put out, because it's like being an artist or an R&B, you about to drop an album.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to work on this album. This is sit here. They have diluted it of their own, and I, personally speaking, that's the reason why people don't watch their specials all the way through. Because
they're not great.
They were not special.
They're not special,
no. You understand? It speaks for its comedy special. They're supposed to be special.
They were about special for about 15 minutes. Yeah. And then that's when everyone turned it off.
Yeah. I mean, you're not and you're doing a disservice to yourself, to be right honest with you, if you want my personal opinion about it, because your peers are watching it. Your peers are sitting here and saying, okay, you want to be respected among your peers, to like, all right, that motherfucker right there funny.
Yeah.
Man, now that's what, see, and you root for that. I know I do. I root for that. Yeah. See, that's a to our profession. That is you know what I mean?
There's nothing, laughs are one thing, but when you have like someone like say, hey man, I love that joke, that's like all of a sudden, that's like.
Yes. Or you see a motherfucker, you push a girl off. See, if I wouldn't fuck with you, I would have thought of that.
I wouldn't fuck with you, I would have thought of that.
And all this lovey-dovey, this motherfucker over here working. You know what I mean? You know, you just sit there like that. God damn. How did I not think of that? You know what I mean?
So dude, Quick, it is so good having you.
Yeah,
here, man.
dude.
It is an honor. It is an honor. Look, I've been a fan of yours for legit as long as I've been doing stand-up. When I first met you through Tony, and you've been just a good luck charm to me. Every time I ever run into you, I get big smiles, and to watch you succeed, to watch you blow up the way you have these last 2 years, has been so fun for all us comics. Because, you know, I think all of us go, it's real easy to say, that guy got that and he didn't deserve it. But the guys who weren't getting what they deserve, like you, that's when you go, well, fuck, that's how I feel about myself sometimes. And when you fucking popped, man, everyone was on your team. Everyone was fucking
it was awesome,
giving you flowers.
And I remember when I was at the MGM Arena, I did that show, and you were hanging out.
Right.
You were in the red room. It's like 200 people there, and me and Andrew were in the corner, and he was like, "Yo, that's Earthquake right there." And we were like, "Oh, we got to go say what's up." We went over there like all nervous and shit just to say what's up to him, because we were just so stoked to see you up close and in person, and yeah, I mean, just reiterate everything. I'm just super happy for you, man.
Well, thank you, man. And I appreciate y'all having me. I was flattered when I heard that y'all want to be on the show.
Oh.
So anytime, any place that you'll have me to come on, man, I am all down, and I appreciate it.
Done
Thanks,
deal,
brother.
Thank
All
you,
right.
man.
Thanks, guys. See you next week.
Appreciate you.
Bert and Tom and Bert. One goes topless while the other wears a shirt. Tom tells stories and Bert's the machine. There's not a chance in hell that they'll keep it clean. Here's what we call 2 bears, 1 cave.